Pleased to have with us on the program the host of MeatEater. A brand new season starts July the 1st. Steve Rinella is with us. Steve, good evening, sir.
How's it going, man?
Excellent. Good talking to you again. So tell us about the new season of MeatEater.
Well, it's going to be a lot like the old season of MeatEater, but even cooler and better. We've been out doing a lot of filming, great hunts. We've honed our practice, and we're keeping it going on. We did well in our first season.
Yeah.
And so we didn't set out to redefine anything. We just set out to continue making more great MeatEater. And it's been going well. We've been cranking them out. Just got back from New Zealand, in fact, and was hunting out there. And did some stuff down in Mexico. Was out in Montana. So a lot of good shows coming up. And we're going to continue cranking on them. And, the guys at Sportsman channel have been great. And things are looking up.
That's fantastic. One of the things that I like about your show, Stephen, is that, we've talked with, like, Georgia Pellegrino about this. We had Andrew Zimmern on the program a couple of weeks ago. I think we're really starting to see this nexus, I call it, between food freedom and firearms freedom. Andrew Zimmern said it's just all about freedom. But, your show, I think, is a perfect example of this because it is a hunting show, but it is also a cooking show as well. I mean, you are about the entire experience.
Yeah, I've never been able to separate the two. I mean, it surprises me that someone would even think of them as being separate. I mean, hunting, to me, hunting is food acquisition. I mean, hunting serves all kinds of other purposes too. It's like it's adventurous. It's a healthy lifestyle. It's a great way to meet interesting people. It's a great way to test and challenge yourself. It's a great way to make yourself tough. It's a great way to make yourself independent and independent-minded. And it's a great way to explore the natural world, and learn things you would never otherwise pick up.
Mm-hmm.
But all of that, I don't quite want to say it's secondary, but all of that, in my mind, falls somehow lower than feeding myself. I wouldn't be a big cook, and I can't call myself a chef or cook, 'cause I'm just like a guy at home figuring stuff out, But I wouldn't be that guy if it weren't for hunting. I hunted growing up, and my mom did the cooking, or my dad did the cooking. And when I went away to college, we fed ourselves on wild game, and after a while, it's like eating fried hamburgers and fried steaks gets wearisome. And so I started learning how to deal, how to deal with wild game in an inventive way that would make people excited. And since those days, I've just have continued to do that. And at the time, back then, when I was in school,
yeah,
I hunted if I needed to. I mean, honestly, I did. It would have been that if I didn't hunt, I wouldn't be eating meat. I'd be just eating like generic brand cereal and potatoes and stuff like that. So to have a successful hunt meant your diet would improve. I can't sit here and BS you now and act like I wouldn't be eating well if it wasn't for hunting. I'd be eating just fine, but I wouldn't be eating happily. I wouldn't be like having a almost like spiritual connection to my food that I get now from the hunting lifestyle, and it
right.
just informs every aspect of it. So to go and make a hunting show, to me, it's like ludicrous that I would make a show about hunting that didn't explore food. But I don't just lean on the food. I want, when we go out to do a MeatEater show, we want to have an adventurous, kind of eye-popping, sometimes startling show that includes food the same way it includes guns and boots and all the other junk you associate with hunting.
Right. All right. My producer, Cameron Gray, just murmured in my ear. Ask him about rendered bear oil.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What? Tell me about rendered bear oil, Stephen.
Well, rendered bear oil.
What do you use that for?
Who's it for, or what's it for?
What's it for?
What you use it for is you use it for anything that you would use oil for. Now, you're aware, obviously, that you can't sell wild game.
Right.
If you look online, you will sometimes find people selling bear oil for other purposes, like hair dressing. I don't know what that. I'd imagine you just put the grease in your hair.
Okay.
But it's great for cooking. At room temp, it's kind of like whitish and solid, almost like if you had Crisco or lard, that sort of consistency at room temp. Once you get it a little bit warm, it's the color of vegetable oil or olive oil. I use it anywhere that one would use lard. I use it to fry in. I can make some amazing French fries in there. And like even McDonald's up until sometime some number of years ago, they used to fry their French fries in beef lard.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
And if you Pepsi challenged bear lard and beef lard, you would know the two of them apart. If and this is an enormous if with capital front and back letters.
Yeah.
If the bear's been eating something tasty. If you go up, like I got a place on Prince Wales Island, and we hunt some bears up there in the spring. Those bears are eating piles of salmon. I mean, when they're not eating salmon, they're eating some other dead thing they found washed up on the beach. And that oil will curl your hair. I mean, it's like that oil smells and tastes like rotten fish. But you get a bear that's been feeding on blueberries or that's been, eating a largely like grass-based diet for a couple months.
Right.
Then the oil is good. I had jars. The last bear I killed, I got a couple gallons of oil on it, and I wasn't even being conservative about it because I had to pack the whole thing a few miles. But I packed out enough to have a couple gallons of oil, and I gave it all away to friends, man, and they're already coming back for more. And they came and reported to me about all the uses they were doing, like refried beans, making biscuits, putting it into baked goods. So it's just fun, And then instead of eating something that might otherwise be boring, like let's say you have some guys over, for dinner,
right?
And they're like, "Oh, you made that?" And be like, "Yeah, with bear fat." Now that the conversation for the next 5 or 10 minutes is going to be interesting. It's just like it's just a great cooking medium. So go out, get yourself a bear, been feeding on blueberries, cube that fat up, and just put it over low burner, and pretty soon you'll have a bucket of oil with some cracklings floating in it.
Oh.
Let those cracklings cool and have them on top of a salad.
Oh, I love it. So, Stephen, when can...
Don't tell your cardiologist.
You know what? Everything in moderation, right?
Yeah. But here's the thing about, like, I eat a lot of, I eat a lot of red meat and animal fat, but it goes with the lifestyle, right? So I'm out, busting up and down mountains all the time and stuff, and when I sit down to a big greasy plate of something, it's just not. I'm not as concerned about it because the health benefits of living an active hunting-based lifestyle to me far outweighs whatever detriment I might get from eating a couple of questionable things now and then.
Right. Well, no, I think that stands to reason. But again, I think it's as you say. I think it's part and parcel. Somebody who, it stands to reason. Somebody who's living an active lifestyle, as you say, going up and down mountains all day, can probably eat a little bit differently than someone who, let's say, sits behind a desk and hosts a 3-hour program 5 days a week.
Hey man, I do a fair bit of desk sitting myself. To be totally honest with you, I just finished a book, and that requires I don't know how much sitting around.
Right.
Years worth of sitting around.
Well, listen. Can you give us a preview of the book? Is it recipes?
Yeah, the book is called. It's my third book, and I called this book MeatEater. And the subtitle of the book is Adventures from the Life of an American Hunter. And it's more autobiographical than books I've written in the past. And it's more of an attempt. I wrote it with this in mind. I wanted to entertain hunters and enlighten non-hunters. So it's a book based largely on 10 hunts, but it covers everything from, the diaspora of human hunters out of Africa to current ideas about whether it's right or wrong to hunt mountain lions with hound dogs in Colorado or Arizona or other western states where the practice has been called into question.
Right.
It's like a pan exploration of all things hunting. But it's meant to be fun, man. It's meant to be. It's like a fun, exciting book, and you go on exciting hunts to great places and see cool food items. And what's different about this book is a lot of experiences I had working on MeatEater, the show, snuck into this book, because to go out and make hunting television, you get thrust into a lot of experiences that you might not come across hunting in your normal patterns, you know. So for 12 years or some number of years in a row, like me and my brother would hunt elk in the Madison Range in Montana with our bows. Every year, September, that's where we were. That's what we were doing. And now I've been fortunate enough to see what other guys might be out doing every September. And so it kind of metastasized my, you know, view and understanding of where hunting in America is. And so, you know, those experiences from doing the show crept into the book in a huge way. And I also spent a lot of time talking about past experiences of mine. Even from being a kid, I did a lot of fur trapping, starting when I was 10 years old. I talk a lot about some of the moral dilemmas that come from, you know, growing up hunting and trapping, and where your skills might develop faster than your ethics.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, I get into a lot of that, and I say some things that are probably going to irritate some people, and I say some things that I think some people will applaud. So.
Well, listen, I'm looking forward to reading it. And now, July 1st, that's when the new season of MeatEater starts. When on Sportsman Channel can folks check it out?
We're on at a time when really very few people have an excuse not to be tuned in. Sundays at 9 p.m.
Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Settling in to a little tube at Sundays at 9 p.m. You're just not settling into some tube. So.
There you go. Well, listen, Steven, thank you again, sir, for coming on the program. Great talking to you as always, and I hope we can have you on again soon.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Likewise, I always like to check in with you, and it's a pleasure listening to you.